Welcome back. The GIZ Green Hydrogen Project Support Unit has convened with the implementation of green hydrogen masterclasses aimed at various target groups in Namibia, and with the objective of raising awareness at a technical level amongst professionals, decision makers, public entities, including local authorities and SMEs closely affiliated with this native green hydrogen industry. Now, to help us unpack this, I'm joined telephonically by Dr. Detlof von Utzen, physicist, trainer at the VO Consulting. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much. A very good evening to you as well, and good evening to all the listeners.
What are the main objectives, if we can just jump right into it, and main objectives and the goals of the GIZ Green Hydrogen Project Masterclass for broadcasters and for media practitioners?
Well, mainly it is all about creating awareness, creating a base level of understanding, and ensuring that people understand what the concepts are that are currently being debated in Namibia as well as on a global front as well. So these concepts are specifically about the just energy transition. They are specifically about the significant uptake of renewable energies in order to limit further greenhouse gas emissions. And for members of the media, of course, they are at the forefront of sharing information and making intelligent comments on what politicians are saying. And it is therefore very important that media practitioners are clued up about, what it means to have or start a green hydrogen economy, what it means to start synthetic fuels production in Namibia, and all these other exciting concepts that we are discussing during the workshop.
Doctor, can you explain the concept of green hydrogen and its significance in the context of sustainable energy?
Yes, I will definitely give it a go. So green hydrogen is basically hydrogen that is produced from non-greenhouse gas emitting electricity sources or other energy forms. So in the broader context of the global discussion about climate change, we have come to realize that the continuous emission of greenhouse gases cannot go without further very significant mitigation measures. And that implies that we have to quite rapidly, in fact, phase out fossil fuels and other forms of energy that contribute significantly to greenhouse gases. And one of the fuels that we can actually produce in a rather clean form is hydrogen, and green hydrogen would therefore be a hydrogen that we produce from renewable energy sources and other energy sources that are in fact not emitting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere.
What would you say are some of the challenges or the barriers that may hinder the widespread adoption of green hydrogen technologies?
There are, in fact, quite a number of challenges. It is definitely so that on a global scale, the transformation towards a cleaner energy future is a complex and rather challenging endeavor. In Namibia, and let us maybe first mostly focus on Namibia, it is, of course, that Namibia is still a very significant importer of the energy uses that we have. And so to put this in context, we are importing all the fossil fuels, we are importing a significant portion of the electricity that we use. And so if we are to wean ourselves off the fossil fuels, we would have to create infrastructure for creating green hydrogen and synthetic fuels. And this is not only very costly to do so, but it is also something that requires proper human capital. So in other words, enabled individuals who can participate in this transition. it creates very significant pressures on those that are providing funding and those that have to govern the funding and the administration of these projects in terms of project implementation, and many, many other topics. But I'd say for Namibia, the main challenge is that we are a developing nation, so we do not have deep pockets lined with money, and so we have to go out and find investors to do these projects for us. And investors, of course, have their own set of ideas and prerogatives in terms of investment projects. And that provides, or that implies, that we need to have a very clear understanding of how we can best meet Namibia's development needs on the one hand, without chasing away potential investors. You know, we need the investors just as much as they need us, but it is still important to recognize that Namibia, as an independent country, must and should stay on top of saying how things will eventually be done in Namibia. It cannot be that we dance to the tune of investors. So finances are very important, human resources are very important, getting the right infrastructure in place, you know, tying it to the various policies and strategies that we have in Namibia, developing the regulatory framework. All of these are very important topics, and so we have a lot of work ahead of us to actually make it happen.
So, Doctor, how can broadcasters and media practitioners effectively communicate the benefits and the potential of green hydrogen to the general public?
I think this is a pertinent question, a very good question, and a very important question, in that as broadcasters, you are basically at the forefront of interacting with a large variety of people around the country through the various media. And it is, of course, very important that you can present the rather complex topic of the energy transition and green hydrogen projects and the production of synthetic fuels and ammonia and all these things that are currently debated, that you can translate it into a language that can be understood by lay people. Not all of us are engineers or scientists or so. And so it is very important that there is clear language used, unambiguous language, that it is actually truthful and it is not just some type of wishful thinking that is distributed. So as I think the role of the broadcasters is very important, and it is extremely important that you focus on what is actually known and what is realistic, and that there is a bit of skepticism with most of the messages that we hear, not because people are always untruthful, but it is that I would say that people often do not fully comprehend the concept of what green energy or green hydrogen would be for Namibia. And it's therefore very important that that you as journalists and broadcasters actually maintain a sense of balance and that you stay truthful to what is actually known and what is just wishful thinking in this entire debate.
Thank you, Dr. van Oortzen.
You're most welcome.
Well, that has been Dr. Detlof van Oortzen, VO Consulting, who is a physicist and trainer at VO Consulting, of course, talking to us there about the green hydrogen.